students, it's day 6 for the chapter Modern Physics. In previous lecture we have discussed nuclear energy, nuclear fission reaction, reason for energy released during nuclear fission reaction and chain reaction. The specific objectives of today's topic are distinction between the radioactive decay and nuclear fission reaction, nuclear fusion reaction, nuclear fusion as a thermonuclear reaction, and distinction between the nuclear fission and nuclear fusion reaction. Our first topic for today is distinction between the radioactive decay and nuclear fission. Radioactive decay. Students, it's a spontaneous process. It occurs itself when an unstable atom emits alpha, beta or gamma particle from the nucleus of that atom, that is called as radioactivity or radioactive decay of that atom. Whereas nuclear fission does not occur by itself. It is initiated when neutrons, fast or slow moving neutrons, are bombarded on a heavy nucleus, and that nucleus splits up into two lighter nuclei. That process is called as nuclear fission, and it does not occur by itself. The nucleus emits either the alpha particles with the emission of energy in the form of gamma rays. Students, emission of energy in the case of radioactive decay is in the form of gamma rays, which is not very large. Whereas in nuclear fission reaction, nearly 190 mega electron volt of energy is released on bombardment of a heavy nucleus with neutrons, that is a nuclear fission reaction. A tremendous amount of energy, I have already told you, 190 mega electron volt energy is released in one fission reaction, and the nucleus splits up into two nearly equal fragments. The rate of radioactive decay cannot be controlled. We cannot control the radioactive decay, since an unstable atom emits alpha, beta or gamma radiations to become stable. So we cannot control a radioactive decay, whereas the rate of nuclear fission can be controlled. We have discussed earlier chain reaction, that was an uncontrolled nuclear fission, and we have also discussed controlled nuclear fission reaction, which is used to produce electricity in nuclear reactor. So nuclear fission reaction can be controlled. Now next is nuclear fusion. It's another process. Earlier we have done nuclear fission, now it is nuclear fusion. Nuclear fusion is the process in which two lighter nuclei combine. When we talk about fusion, means fuse. Fuse means to combine. So in this process, two lighter nuclei combine. We can see in the picture also two lighter nuclei. We have taken the isotopes of hydrogen here, that is deuterium and tritium. They are two lighter nuclei. They combine to form a heavy nucleus. They form a helium atom, which is heavier than deuterium or tritium. So this process is called as nuclear fusion, in which two lighter nuclei combine to form a heavy nucleus, and a large amount of energy is released during this process. Now next is nuclear fusion as a thermonuclear reaction. It's very important, students. This question comes in board also, that what is thermonuclear reaction, or name the reaction which is also called thermonuclear reaction, or why nuclear fusion is not possible at ordinary temperature and ordinary pressure. The answer for it is same. Now listen to it very carefully. The reason is that when two light nuclei approach each other, two light nuclei, that means the nucleus, we know that in the nucleus there are protons and neutrons. Protons are positively charged, whereas neutrons are heavy uncharged bodies. So overall charge on nucleus is positive. And when two lighter nuclei approach each other, that means two positive charges, they have to come closer to each other. So they will take a large amount of energy. A large amount of temperature is required to bring them together, as we know that like charges repel each other. So they will repel each other. So long forces, large forces are required to bring them closer. So the electrostatic forces of repulsion between them becomes so strong so that they do not fuse, and to overcome that large resistive forces, a large amount of energy is required. So nuclear fusion is not at all possible at ordinary temperature and ordinary pressure. A large amount of temperature and pressure is required to bring two lighter nuclei closer to each other. Now let's start with the reading. Nuclear fusion is not possible at ordinary temperature and ordinary pressure. The reason is that when two lighter nuclei approach each other, they come closer to each other due to their positive charge. We know that overall charge for a nucleus is positive. So due to this positive charge, the electrostatic forces of repulsion between them becomes so strong that they do not fuse, they do not combine. Hence, to make the fusion possible, the high temperature and high pressure is required. At such a high temperature, both nuclei, due to their thermal agitation means vibration within the molecules. At this high temperature, the molecules start vibrating and they acquire sufficient kinetic energy so as to overcome the forces of repulsion, that resistive forces. They can overcome that resistive forces due to that kinetic energy produced due to vibration of the molecules. So they overcome the forces of repulsion between them when they approach each other due to thermal agitations, and they get fused. This is why the nuclear fusion reaction is also called thermonuclear reaction, as it is taking place at very high temperature and pressure. Next is note. The source of energy of the sun and stars is nuclear fusion reaction. Students, in sun, nuclear fusion is happening. Sun is made up of gases, mainly hydrogen and helium. 4 lighter nuclei, that is 4 nuclei of hydrogen, they combine or fuse together to form a heavy nucleus of helium, followed by a large amount of energy is released, and along with that 2 particles, positron and neutrino, are also released. Students, positron and neutrino are same particles like alpha and beta particles which emit from nucleus of an atom, and it also releases energy, which I have already told you, that is equivalent to 26.7 mega electron volt. The working of hydrogen bomb is based upon nuclear fusion reaction, in which a high temperature required for fusion reaction is produced by bombardment of the nuclear fission bomb. Students, a high temperature is required for a fusion reaction, and that high temperature is taken up, high energy is taken up from one fission reaction. As fission reaction releases energy, that energy is used for nuclear fusion reaction, which is used for making hydrogen bomb. Although it appears that the energy released in nuclear fusion is much less than the energy released in nuclear fission, we know that in one fission reaction 190 mega electron volt energy is released, whereas for one fusion 24.7 mega electron volt energy is released. So indeed it looks like that in fusion very less energy is released, but actually it is not so. For a given mass, the energy released due to fusion of light nuclei is much more than the energy released due to fission of same mass of a heavy nucleus. We know for a fission reaction we use uranium 235 to 38, atomic mass 235 to 38, but for one fusion reaction we take only 4 hydrogen atoms. atomic mass? Only 4. So if 4 hydrogen atoms are releasing 26.7 mega electron volt energy, then if that will be replaced with 235, that atomic mass of hydrogen becomes 235, then it will release so much of energy. So the energy released in nuclear fusion is much more than nuclear fission reaction for the same mass. The reason is that for the same mass, the number of light nucleus is much more than the number of heavy nucleus. Hence, the energy obtained per unit mass in fusion is much larger than the energy obtained per unit mass in the fission reaction. Now, this is the reason why scientists are engaged in getting energy by the process of fusion of deuterium, which can be obtained in abundance from seawater, as seawater is having deuterium. So we can get energy from deuterium at very low cost. But the main difficulty is that at 10 raised to power 7 Kelvin temperature, this temperature which is required for fusion reaction, the substance get ionized. That is, it reaches to a plasma state, ionic state, and it is very difficult to store it. Nowadays, efforts are being made to preserve the substance in plasma state with the help of nanocarbon tubes. And once we succeed in storing that hydrogen atom in ionized state or plasma state, we can surely make a productive use of nuclear fusion reaction. Next is, students, distinction between nuclear fission and nuclear fusion reaction. Nuclear fission. Fission is the splitting of a large atom or a heavy nucleus into two or more smaller ones. Nuclear fusion. Fusion means fuse. Fusion is the fusing of two or more lighter atoms into a larger one. Fission reaction does not occur normally in nature. It is not happening in nature, whereas fusion, it is occurring in stars such as the sun. Fission produces many highly radioactive particles, as the nucleus, when bombarded with a neutron, it splits into two lighter nuclei that are unstable. So to become stable, they release radioactive substances like alpha beta particles. Whereas nuclear fusion reaction, a very few particles are produced in fusion reaction, but if the fission trigger is used, that is, if the energy which is required for fusion is taken up from fission reaction, then a large number of radioactive particles are released. Critical mass of substance is required. We know for a fission reaction a heavy nucleus is required. That heavy nucleus is critical mass. We cannot take lighter nuclei for fission reaction. And high speed neutrons are required for bombardment. Nuclear fusion, high density, high temperature environment is required. Next is, takes little energy to split two atoms. Very less amount of energy is required for fission reaction, whereas for fusion extremely high energy is required to overcome electrostatic forces of repulsion between the two lighter nuclei. The energy released by fission is million times greater than the energy released in chemical reactions. Energy released in fission reaction is approximately equivalent to 190 mega electron volt for one fission reaction, which is very large than chemical reaction, the energy released in chemical reaction. But it is very less than the energy released in nuclear fusion reaction. The energy released by fusion is 3 to 4 times greater than the energy released in fission. So a large amount of energy is released for nuclear fusion reaction. One class of nuclear weapon is a fission bomb, or known as atomic bomb, whereas for fusion, one class of nuclear weapon is hydrogen bomb. So this completes up the chapter. In this chapter, we have discussed what is radioactivity. Then we have discussed the particles emitted during radioactive decay, that were alpha, beta, gamma particles, properties of alpha, beta, gamma particles. Then we have discussed harmful effects of the radiations, then safety precautions while working in nuclear reactor power plant. Then we have discussed the safe disposal of nuclear waste. then background radiations, then next topic was nuclear energy, followed up with nuclear fission and nuclear fusion reaction. Thank you.